Welcome to Entering the Public Domain, where you can find movies to enjoy or mock for the low price of downloading time. Rebounding from my mistake of last week, we go across the pond to Britain for a movie titled They Came from Beyond Space, based on a novel called The Gods Hate Kansas. How could I not watch a movie based on a novel by that name? Of course, they did move it to Britain, but I digress. Because first, our cast. We've got our hero scientist, recovering from a car crash that left him with a metal plate in his skull. Tough guy. Big hair scientist, our hero's love interest, who ends up being taken over by an alien. Umbrella scientist, named so because in his first scene he has an umbrella and I am uncreative. Assorted scientists. They all serve the same purpose of being taken over. Flirting girl. She hits on our hero, but is there more than meets the eye? Probably not. Detective. He's detecting stuff. Our hero's friend. He's really good at cricket. Master of the Moon. I'll get to him when the movie does. Now, let's go to the review. We start out simply enough by having strange meteors crashing to Earth near a small farm. With that established so quickly, we jump to a fancy science place, with our main characters being smart, because they're scientists and all. A scientist with an umbrella appears and tells of the mysterious crash. He wants our hero scientist to come down, but we insta-cut away to show his doctor telling him no due to the metal plate in his skull. Once he's established his disapproval, the doctor disappears from the film. Thanks for coming. So Big Hair gets the okay to lead, and away they go. Oh, but wait! Before you go, here's a smooch to confirm they are in a relationship. Either that or he's just checking her for a fever. Soon after, at the site, the meteors glow and take control of Big Hair.
There is a brief moment of struggle before the connection is made, but it passes almost immediately. Control of musculature and vocal cords awkward, but adequate.
It's nice to hear a compliment towards humans for once. Normally aliens are all about trashing Earth and its inhabitants, but that was actually mostly nice. I think. They go to work, deciding they need money to start building something. Big Hair goes to the bank and...
How much?
£1 million.
1 million? Where have I heard that before?
I pinched $1 million from the bank.
Anyway, to make sure the deal goes down, the banker gets a prompt brain steal from another rock. Elsewhere, hero scientist and some nerdy scientists who stayed behind use insane movie math to figure out that the meteors came from the moon. That's not quite from beyond space, but I'll take it. At this time, a, in no way acting suspicious, Umbrella Man appears, insisting the two come see the new discovery. So Nerdy gets his brain swiped, but the metal plate prevents our hero from getting taken. The aliens react accordingly.
What's happening around here? Alan, get out!
Okay, there was probably a better way of handling that. Now knowing that something is wrong, our hero talks to the main boss, finds out about things they're purchasing, including tons of metal and armed guards. And the boss is never seen or heard of again. This is here to show off his car. Nice, right? No wonder he wants to drive it everywhere. He stops at a gas station for directions, and gets them from a very flirty girl.
Well, if you get bored with your work, you could always stop by and have a chat. I might even make you a cup of tea. With sugar.
If it wasn't for Big Hair, I'm guessing he'd be having plenty of tea. We head out to the farm, where things have changed, including a nice electric fence. Our hero faces opposition from an armed guard, with orders to let no one in, so he power plays.
Now I would advise you to step back, because when I put this thing into gear, and it smashes through that fence, you're liable to find yourself hurt, or electrocuted.
Nice. They lose this non-moving game of chicken and call down Big Hair, who doesn't even try to imitate the actual person while telling our hero to leave. But that doesn't work. He sneaks up and watches from a distance, before tracking down Big Hair in a green screen car chase. She introduces both us and him to a light gun that quickly disables him. So later he wakes up at the gas station with Flirter, who found him on the road. He thanks her and leaves, running into Detective, who claims to know what's going on. But before he can tell him, he needs to talk to his superior. Only problem is, when he makes the call, this happens. Freckles of death. This causes a mild riot of pure panic. A TV reporter tells us that this is called the Crimson Plague. The town's been quarantined, but another detective appears to tell our hero that he should leave. Yes, this is another you should leave scene. Hero returns to the gas station, only to be told that the woman is gone, and if he knows what's good for him, he'll disappear too. That's 2 back-to-back you should leave scenes. The next scene shows him arriving at the farm, where he gets a nice warm welcome. Essentially, we have seen 3 you should leave scenes in a row. I'm no movie maker, but we may have just witnessed something called padding. And yes, this one fails too, as he just sneaks into a nearby forest and watches as a mysterious rocket rises from the lake and shoots off into space. Deciding it's time to take action, our hero first tests to see if the fence is really electrified. Yep. That earns him the attention of guards, and their guns. So he flees in his awesome car. Now I take it these guards are the great and so on grandfathers of Star Wars stormtroopers, since they cannot hit a thing. He comes back once again, but this time he has a rifle. Apparently this man of science has 0 problem with force. Why drop the gun? Oh well. He sneaks into the main building and finds an elevator. The only problem is he also finds a guard. So what's he gonna do? Engage in a fight that rivals most of professional wrestling television today. A back body drop, a snap mare, ramming his head into the corner, and again, and again. Then after a brief slip, we finish it all up with a body slam through a table. The only thing that would make that more hardcore would be if the table were on fire. Anyway, with that done, he takes an elevator down and searches, finding seemingly frozen bodies, including Flirter. This moment of shock allows him to eat a shot of light and get captured. However, our hero has seen a western or two and sets a trap that springs him from his cell. He then goes to the main control room and finds Big Hair. Knowing it's not really her, he chooses to spear her to the ground and punch her in the face. We have a quick glimpse of a small circle representing an alien, right before we enter into sci-fi western territory by having a light gun showdown. Hero drags the KO'd Big Hair out and manages to get past all the guards through pure ninjery. This is where we're introduced to his friend, who believes him instantly and agrees to make a helmet to protect his brain from being taken over. But wait, where will they get the silver for it?
Where do we melt them down?
Not my trophies.
Good to see we waited an hour to get our comedic relief. They make a in no way goofy looking helmet and find out it works by blocking Big Hair's attempt to switch with the less tied up friend. From here we get a few scenes of them experimenting to figure out what works against the aliens. At the end of it, they zap Big Hair, removing her uninvited guest and returning her back to her senses. How sweet. So it's time for the assault on the compound. After taking out a couple of guys, they go rushing in. Hey, don't forget your helmets. Seriously, that would have been hilarious and disappointing all at once. They jump down the elevator and hop on the rocket before it takes off. They then discover a problem with their plan in the form of automatic rifles. Trapped, Umbrella Scientist informs them of who they'll have to answer to.
And when we land, you will be taken to the Master.
What master?
The Master of the Moon.
The Master of the Moon. Who are we going to visit?
The Master of the Moon.
Is that an elected position? I digress. We've got some traveling to do, so hit the music.
Fly me to the moon, let me play among the stars.
Okay, that's enough of the music. Master of the Moon monologues to let us know people who obtained the Crimson Plague were just KO'd and brought to the moon as slaves. Hero gets a gun, but Moon Master just keeps talking so that we learn that they aren't really trying to take over Earth, but instead use its resources to build a ship that will take them to their home planet. They need a good one since they live beyond space and all. Oh, and then we get this.
Conquer and rule Earth? Why should we want to do that? What possible satisfaction or glory could we find in ruling a race whose most intelligent life force is little more than primitive savages compared with our vast knowledge?
Remember when I said that they were mostly nice about Earth? Oops. Our hero gets nailed yet again, his friend taking the gun and running. They let him go since there's nowhere he can really escape to. Meanwhile, they plan on removing Hero's metal plate to take him over for his knowledge. Well, who's primitive now? Of course, our dear comedic friend manages to somehow free the enslaving humans, leading to a nice fight. And high cross body! Somewhere Ricky Steamboat smiles. Our good friend leads them back, crashes down the door to surgery, and Master of the Moon is left with no option but surrender, bemoaning that his people will never see their home again. Then we get this.
It was not necessary for you to try to conquer and dominate. We would have helped you, all of us. You need only to have asked.
We need only have asked.
See, all they had to do was ask. We would have helped. Did we just manage to squeeze a moral in at the very last second? I mean, truly, the very last second. Our hero will help them build their ship and go home, and they will give up control of who they took over. Well, I guess that does sound fair. Now it's time for the wrap-up. It's mildly entertaining, but that may be influenced by what it follows. This movie will require you to just accept what it throws. If you can't do it, you most likely won't enjoy it. Many funny parts seem unintentional, but I'll take it. Free for viewing, and this time it's worth the price on a rainy day. So thank you for watching, and remember, be free.
Alan, get out!